Hello, so you're welcome. Now we want to solve these problems. That's absolute value equations. If you like, you can pause the video and try them out and see whether you get it. Okay. So for the first one, we're going to use two methods as we did before, but in the subsequent ones, I'll just choose one of the methods to deal with it. Okay. So we have x plus 3 is equal to 5. By method 1, if you like, method 1, alright, you know that this means x plus 3 is equal to 5, or x plus 3 is equal to negative of whatever is here, negative 5. Okay? And so if we solve this gives us x is equal to 5 minus 3, so x is equal to 2. And then when you solve this, x is equal to negative 5 minus 3 implies that x is equal to negative 8. Therefore, x is either 2 or x is negative 8. And you can always check, right, whether your answer is correct or not. You put 2 here. If you put 2 here and take the absolute value, you should get 5. Alright, put 2 there. You have 2 plus 3 is 5. The absolute value of 5 is 5. Plug in negative 8. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So you get a solution. Alright? Okay, good. Now we want to look at a second approach. If you like, method 2. As I mentioned before, you can square both sides. Remember, when you do that, you will be solving a quadratic equation. Okay, so keep note of that. So method 2, you square both sides of the equation. When you square the sides, you take away the absolute value symbols, and so you have x plus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared. And then you square both sides, right? So that gives you, this is x squared plus 2 times that is 6x, plus this squared is 9, this is 25, right? And so we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 25 is 0. So x squared plus 6x, 9 minus 25 is negative 16. So you have this. Alright? X squared plus 6x minus 16 is equal to 0. So negative 16 times 1 is negative 16. You want factors of negative 16 that will add up to give you that. So 8 and negative 1, right? This and this gives you this plus this is 6. And so you have x plus 8, and then x minus 2 is equal to 0, which means that x is equal to negative 8 or positive 2, as we had here. Okay, so when you do it this way, you solve one equation, but that equation is a quadratic equation. Whereas when you solve using method 1, you have both equations, but they are linear equations. Alright, and that gives you the same thing. So you choose the approach. If you have equations that are like this, for instance, x plus 3 is equal to the absolute value of x minus 1, right? Then in this case, it's always better to use method 2, right? Because using method 1 means that you're going to solve about 4 different equations. This has plus or minus, that's 2 equations. This has plus or minus 2 equations, that gives you 4, right? So it's better to square both sides and solve it as you do here. Okay? So that is, so practice, and then you get comfortable with the method that you are comfortable with. All right, good. So we've done 1. Let's do 2, right? So question 2, we have 3x plus 2 is equal to 1. Actually, it's not very different from this one. So, I mean, it's up to you. I'm going to use method 2. I just square both sides. I'll have 3x plus 2 squared is equal to 1 squared, which is 1. This squared is 9. 3 squared is 9. So 9x squared plus 6. And this is 12x. This is 4 is equal to 1. So I have 9x squared, 12x. 4 minus 1 is 3. It's equal to 0. 3 is common. I can divide through by 3. If you divide through by 3, you have 3x squared plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. 1 times this is 3. Factors of 3 will be just 1 and 3, right? So this can be written as 3x squared plus 3x plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. So I have 3x plus 1. Well, 3x, you have x plus 1, and then you have x plus 1, right? 0. Okay, so this we can factorize. 3x plus 1, and then x plus 1 is equal to 0. So 3x plus 1 is 0, or x plus 1 is 0. The first one gives us x is negative 1 divided by 3, right? And the second one gives us x is negative 1. So x is negative 1, or x is negative 1 over 3, right? Okay, so that is number 2. Try it using the first approach, right? That will be faster, much easier, I'm sure. You have 3x plus this is equal to 1, and then 3x plus 2 is equal to negative 1. So you have simple linear equations to solve. Okay? So try using method 1 to solve the same problem. And you should get the solutions that we got. So whenever you have just a single absolute value in the equation, it's usually easier, I think, depending on what is in here. If it's not squared, of course, right? Okay. Number 3, absolute value